Hey, so I've been working on some cheap barrels for Infinity, and I got these wooden spools at the craft store. I probably paid like a couple bucks for like, I don't know, a ton of them. And so the first thing I did was I primed them, and then I painted the edges. Most of the edges I painted like a metallic color because that seemed good to me. And then I got some great files off the internet from for some guys who've done some container ships that you can build, and I shrunk them down and cropped them so that I can wrap them around the edges and have some caps. So let me show you how that works out. So I made a bunch of them for everything that I had, and I printed them all out on a big sheet of paper that's sticky. It's a big, full label paper. I'll put a link to a full description of it in the notes below the video. And then I just cut these guys out like this. Just using some scissors. And then, so that's going to be the side of it around. And then I've got this is for the top and the bottom. And so these are circles, so I've got like a little white circle laid out over it to cut around. So you just kind of turn the piece of paper as carefully as you can. And that's one. And then we have another one. For some of these, I made the top and the bottom slightly different patterns because I found a couple patterns that I could use and work with. For some of them, they're the same. So once I got that done, then what I do is, so this label paper has little perforations down it. So if you get lucky, you can peel that off and you're good. And so then what I found works best is to line it up in the middle and get your middle done. And then these are going to end up overlapping a little bit, so you want to wrap it carefully, and you want to wrap the side you want to get covered first. So that one's going to go down there, and that one goes down there. And so that's the side. And then we take the tops, and I did not get lucky with the top, so when you got to peel the back off, I've got just a nice, decently sharp X-Acto knife, and I'm going to just kind of put the point toward there. Eventually you can get it through. Boom. So, and then you pull it off. So now I'm going to look and see where I want this. So sometimes it feels like it makes sense to have it in a certain spot. I don't think it much for this. I'm just going to center it on here. And there's the top. And then we'll do the bottom. So, so there's great. There's a barrel. And so there's one done. And then let me show you a different variation that I did. So I took a couple of these and I decided to make them. I've already cut these out, so I'll just start putting these on while I talk about them. These are. I did something slightly different with 4 of them because I wanted to have something that I could use for some different kinds of mission objectives, like maybe some console stations or panoplies or things like that Infinity likes to do for different missions. I'm having trouble getting there. We go. So I've got it through. Pull that off. And put this one around like this. All right. This one I like to cover up the dark side because I think it looks a little bit better. It's not less secure there. All right, and then I'll put the bottom on first here, but I'm not going to put the top on yet. So let's get the bottom on, and I'm going to try and line up the darker edge here with the darker side, but that may be a level of detail that's not noticeable. So now what I'm going to do is I printed out a bunch of the hollow sheets that Corvus Belli has on their website. And I printed them out on, this is like a thin cardstock, a little rigidity to it. So what I've done here is I've just kind of cut a little bit of a stem on the top of it, and now I'm just going to cut around the rest of it, or at the bottom of the hollow. just going to cut around the rest of it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this stem in there, and then I'm going to bend it a bit like this. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sticker. Oh, and I got lucky on that one. So I'll just peel that off. That's awesome. So now I'm just going to take the sticker and I'm going to stick the sticker over top of that stem like that, and that holds the hollow vid on. And so then we've got a hollow vid. And now if we bring the camera in, I can show you a bunch of the other ones that I've done here. So there we have another hollow vid, a couple more, and you can see some people. I'll get down low here, you can kind of see how tall they are. So they provide some, I would assume, some partial cover there. And I noticed that you can even kind of make them look like barrels. So these four are actually a wood crate pattern that I put it out there, and so I actually painted the edge of those brown, and those came out actually really well. So I'll put a link to the PDF I've got in the bottom here, and hopefully this is a good cheap way to do some crates for Infinity. Talk to you guys later.